Good afternoon, I'm Cynthia Arthur. You're watching News on 2. The search and rescue SAR operation for the remaining 5 victims who are feared buried in the landslide at Jalan Bukit Kukus, Payatrubong, Pulau Pinang resumes this morning at 8:30 a.m. after it was halted at 7 p.m. yesterday. Rescue officials said the SAR resumes today under the watchful eyes of the Mineral and Geoscience Department in detecting any earth movement in the area. State Fire and Rescue Department Director Sadun Mokhtar said more assets have been deployed for the SAR operation. Sadun added that the SAR operation will resume at the 3rd sector, where the 5 victims are believed to be buried if the weather is fine. The 5 people still missing are an Indonesian, identified as Subairi, and 4 Bangladeshi nationals, Mithu Hossain, 30, Muhammad Abdul Jalil, 31, Ujal, 33, and Rahat, 25. The landslide, which was reported to have occurred at 1:56 p.m. last Friday, has killed 4 foreign workers and injured 3 others, with 5 people still missing and feared to have been buried alive. 2 bodies were recovered on Friday, that of an Indonesian national, Samsul Asman, 19, and Bangladesh worker Atrul, 35, while the bodies of Myanmar woman Kin Ai Kang, 33, and Indonesian Mahathir, 36, were recovered yesterday. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said the detention of several former leaders who now face charges related to abuse of power and corruption is not politically motivated. The Premier said the matter is subject to the country's laws and regulations, which will ultimately determine whether those facing charges were guilty or otherwise. Tun Dr. Mahathir added that in Malaysia, the law does not exempt anyone and even the rulers are subject to the rule of law.
Sama ada dia pemimpin ataupun tidak pemimpin, kalau kita buat salah, maka pihak yang berkuasa melaksanakan undang-undang akan jalan tugas mereka. Ada tunggulah. Kita bukan macam orang tangkap orang tak ada bicara apa pun tahu masuk dalam jail, bukan cara itu.
Tun Dr. Mahathir was asked to comment on the recent arrests of UMNO leaders for alleged corruption, including that of UMNO President Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi. New and efficient agricultural methods can help local farmers, smallholders and fishermen increase their yield, which in turn can reduce national food imports. Tun Dr. Mahathir said methods used by countries with lower reliance on imported food products such as China and Japan could be utilized in order to yield greater output. Speaking at a press conference after a gathering with farmers in Langkawi yesterday, Tun Dr. Mahathir said farmers, smallholders and fishermen need to see their potential to produce higher yields, which in turn increases their income as the biggest incentive for them to improve their work rate rather than relying on government incentives alone.
Sementara kerajaan sanggup membantu seperti memberi benih umpamanya. Tetapi kalau kita dapat benih pun, kalau kita tidak ada usaha untuk menjaga tanaman-tanaman kita supaya dia lebih subur, dia lebih mampu tumbuh dengan baik dan mengeluarkan makanan yang lebih banyak, maka pemberian tidak akan mendatangkan apa-apa hasil.
During the ceremony, Tun Dr. Mahathir also distributed 4,000 aromatic green dwarf or pandan coconut seedlings to members of the Langkawi Area Farmers Organization. The Ministry of Communications and Multimedia, KKMM, hopes to build a strong ecosystem for the local startup businesses. Its Minister, Gobind Singh Dio, tweeted the ministry's impending plans during his visit to Station F in Paris, France, which is the world's largest startup campus. Gobind, who is on a working visit to France and the United Kingdom, also visited École 42, a teacherless coding school in Paris. The school, which is the brainchild of Xavier Nier, a French billionaire, is schooling thousands of future-proof programmers for free in France. KKM is contemplating identical education models for future implementation. Gobind also visited the British broadcasting company BBC in London, UK, where he discussed developments in the digital media era as well as steps needed to raise the quality of services in the world of broadcasting. During his visit, Gobind also held discussions with the former French Minister for Digital Affairs in Paris as well as the UK's former Minister for the Cabinet Office and Paymaster General in London. The discussions centered around the telco ecosystem, the 4.0 industrial revolution and the digital government. The Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency (MMEA) have seized 47 cartons of liquor plus 10 barrels filled with live water snakes, 1 with frozen snakes and 3 tons of fresh-grade A squid from 8 Vietnamese fishermen, including the skipper. According to Pahang MMEA Deputy Director of Operations, Maritime Captain V. Panirselvan, acting on the intelligence gathered, the MMEA apprehended the illegal fishermen, aged between 25 and 35, about 20 nautical miles east from Tanjung Gemuk, Rompin. Speaking to the media yesterday, Captain Panirselvan said the smugglers were caught red-handed trying to make a transaction with a few more fishing boats in the vicinity, which fled when the MMEA appeared. The smuggled goods were believed to be bound for sale in the Vietnamese market. The case is being investigated under the Fisheries Act 1985 for violating the licensing terms of carrying cargo items, the Immigration Act 1959-63 as there was no valid identification, the Customs Act 1967 and the Wildlife Conservation Act on suspicion of smuggling liquor and exotic animals. The MMEA urges the public to contact them with any information concerning smuggling activities. Malaysia opened their 2018 AFC Under-19 Championship campaign with a defeat on Saturday after losing 2-1 to Saudi Arabia at the Patriot Chandrabhaga Stadium. Although the Malaysians looked the brighter of the two sides in the early exchanges, Saudi Arabia eventually gained a stronghold on proceedings and duly opened the scoring in the 24th minute. It was Turki Al-Amar who benefited from a touch of fortune as a long ball from the back skimmed off Zahril Azri's head and sent him racing through, where he calmly skipped past opposition goalkeeper Azri Abdul Ghani to score. Saudi Arabia could have swiftly added more goals, but they didn't make the most of their chances, including a penalty. They did, though, get their second in the 78th minute through Salem Al-Salem. Malaysia halved the deficit in the 88th minute, but Muhammad Hadi Fayyad's goal was as good as it got for the Malaysians. Saudi Arabia took the 3 points and continue their campaign against China on Tuesday, while Malaysia will look to revive their quarter-final hopes against Tajikistan. And that concludes this afternoon's News on 2. In our top story, SAR continues amidst caution. Join us again at 7 this evening. I'm Cynthia Arthur and thank you for watching.